Wait, what? Oh, she came from gymnastics. She came from
Okay. And wherever your keys are, they're going to be fine.
Okay.
Just don't be doing this during the service.
Okay.
Can I put this over the nose?
Shabbat shalom, friends. We're going to begin our service. Glad you're here. To those with us in the sanctuary on this rainy night, to those watching from home on this rainy night, we're glad that you can be with us as we welcome Shabbat. And on this night, we acknowledge and raise up heart health, which is why you might be seeing a lot of red. And of course, we hope everyone's taking good care of themselves and is mindful of their own health, heart health. And I appreciate Sisterhood once again bringing this to our attention and making sure we're all aware of the meaning of heart health. With that, we're going to have a special service. We're going to have a service that warms the heart. And we're going to do that through music. We're going to do that through learning. We're going to do that through prayer. Our youth choir, as you can see, is here to give us a hand. We're going to begin with a little bit of music, as always, as we sing Hine Matov, page 128 in your prayer book. Continue with the blessing over our Shabbat lights, followed immediately by our Shabbat Kiddush, all of which you can find beginning on page 120 in your prayer book. It's my pleasure to welcome the Lustermans forward, proud choir parents, to lead us in our blessing over our Shabbat lights and our Shabbat Kiddush.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their heart. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. We'll ask everyone to please rise for our Shabbat Kiddush, page 123. Amen. L'chaim. You may be seated. As we continue with our service, it is our custom on these first Fridays, as we take part in our family service, that we join in a blessing for our children. And I am here announcing a change. and I am doing it in a moment. And that changes to no longer do the blessings for the sons and the daughters. It feels, to me, very binary. That's the word I would choose to use. And therefore, maybe doesn't encompass and accommodate all of our community. So I am, at least for now, putting that blessing on the shelf. And instead, parents, we're going to bless our kids with the priestly benediction. And the language of the priestly benediction, of course, is timeless. It comes to us from the Torah. And many, many families around the world choose this blessing on Friday night for their children, including my own. So if you know the priestly benediction, you can join me as we say, Yivarechecha, Adonai, Yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, Yasem lecha, Shalom. And that's our prayer, that our children be blessed with God's presence, God's light, and be blessed now and always with peace. Peace in their home and peace in their heart. And we can say, Amen. Amen. Lecha Dodi, page 138. We'll join tonight in verses 1, 8, and 9. Custom, let's turn to those around us to wish them Shabbat Shalom. We can remain standing for Baruch Hu, page 264. seated. Together on page 268 as we say, "You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God." Our service continues as we join in our Song of Freedom, Mi Chamocha, which can be found on page 270.
Mi chamocha v'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nerach hakodesh, mi chamocha v'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nerach hakodesh, nora tefilot, osef elem, nora tefilot, osef elem.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. As we turn in our prayer book to page 273, we find the beginning to our tefillah, this most central collection of our prayers, prayers that remind us of our ancestors' faith, courage, the extent to which they were always ready to stand up for those who had been marginalized or pushed to the side. We're reminded as we sing these words not only of their names, but of Every week at this point in our service, we join in our song of peace, our prayer for greater peace in our world, a greater sense of fellowship, partnership, a greater level of humanity and compassion. And as I was thinking about these words on this night, I was thinking especially of the Olympics, which are starting right now in China, the Winter Olympics, and how over the course of these 10 days, 2 weeks, we have maybe a sample, a microcosm of what could be if we lived in harmony with each other, not fighting with each other, not belittling each other, but rather living side by side as the athletes will do, getting to know each other, learning about each other. Imagine if that's the world that we lived in all the time. So our prayer for peace, which has us pray to God for a world of greater peace and greater compassion, Shalom Rav, page 282.
Shalom Rav.
So many of us who enter the sanctuary on this night do so mindful of a friend or a family member who is struggling in some way. So many of us carry pain in our heart these days. We know well that there is illness, that there is anxiety, that there is hurt in our world. And Misha Berach becomes our opportunity to pray on behalf of those in our lives who are not well. We pray together that they might return to a place of strength, wholeness, wellness. On this Friday night, this Shabbat, our prayers are very much with Ileana Cohn, Rick Ulrich, Lynn Romsberg, Jerry Dreskin, Ann Marsden, Stephen Trombecki, Sarah Oken, Gary Garnick, Michael Infanti, Shirley Friedlander, Robert Weiner, Jen Jones, Jocelyn Jackson, Eddie Rosen, Mary Mednitsky, Nick Bowd, Murray Kammerman, Rick Forenow, Todd Pollard, Dr. Jerry Herman, Carrie Basin, Star Berkowitz, Hudson Hodge, Harriet Rosenberg, Ari Sobel, Harvey Savage, Sydney Gross, Michelle Brand, Carol Schaefer, Goldie Schultz, and Nelson Simon. If there's a name you'd like to add to this list, someone for whom you offer a prayer for healing, please feel free to do so now as my glance meets your own.
Janice Lavella. Mark Travis.
Our prayer for healing, Misha Berach, can be found in your prayer book on page 371. Few moments for the sake of our own silent and personal prayers and reflections. Shabbat Shalom again, friends. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Okay. Yes. Are you here? Is anyone awake? Yes. Okay, good. How are we? How are we feeling? We're feeling good. Okay, so if you can even remember, once upon a time, when we had a family service, I would come down the aisle, we would talk, I'd start with a joke. Can you even remember that far back? I cannot. Can you remember that far back? Sort of. So now, this is what we do. I stand up here, and you guys stay there, and we talk this way. It's the best we can do for now, right? We'll make it work. Yeah. So I could still start with a joke, right? I mean, we love my jokes. Let's all agree. Yes, love them. So I have a great one for you tonight, and that the joke is: what are the strongest days of the week? What do you think? You know it.
They're the days that aren't the school days.
Oh, well, you're right. The strongest days of the week are Saturday and Sunday, because the rest really are weekdays. That is hilarious. So I would start with a joke, and then we would get into it, and we'd talk about the Torah portion, we'd talk about what's going on in the Jewish world, so we can still do that. So let's think about it. Where are we in the Torah these days? Let me ask you, because you are smart people. Are we in the book of Genesis? No. Are we in the book of Leviticus? No. Are we in the book of Exodus? Yes. I knew you were super smart. We're in the book of Exodus. That's the second book of the Torah. We're making our way through Exodus, and this week we're at a special portion called Tiruma. Tiruma. That's a Hebrew word, and it means what? No. Gifts. Thank you, Bob. It means gifts, contributions, donations. Contributions. Well done, Bob. So the Jews by now have left Egypt. They've crossed the Red Sea. They are a free people. They've received the Torah. And now they are going to create, you're not going to believe this, they are going to create a portable sanctuary. They're going to make a sanctuary. They're going to make a synagogue in the desert, and they're going to make a synagogue that they can bring with them. So this portion is all about how in the world they did that in the desert. That sounds tricky, doesn't it? So this portion is all about what materials go into making a temple, and who brought what, and who's in charge, and what did it look like, and we receive a lot of details. Why do you think we need so many details when it comes to building a synagogue? Thinking about it, Madsen? You're thinking about it. Take a guess. Just take a guess. Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I think,
It doesn't fall down.
so it doesn't fall down. That's good. That's Jake, right? That was really good. So it doesn't fall down. We want to build it right. We want to build it sturdy. We want to make it special. And I think it required a lot of detail because it's a special place. And we have to take a lot of special steps, to build it just right. So it wouldn't fall down. I think that's a reason. Yeah. I think the portion goes into such detail also to show us that this temple is going to be a special place. We couldn't rush it. It was going to be a special place. Think about your temple. This is a special place, isn't it? Think of the special things that we do here. We have celebrations, we have bar mitzvahs, we have bat mitzvahs, we have weddings here, we pray here, we come here when we're happy, when we're sad, everything in between. This is a special place, right? So let me ask you this question. This is the question I wanted to ask you. If you were building a synagogue, what would you put in it? What should a synagogue have? Not just like the materials, but like what should a synagogue have in it? Talia. Torahs. We have Torahs. We need Torahs to remember our story, right? Jake, what would you say? Microphones. That is an answer. So we can hear each other. Now you are thinking. What else should we put in a synagogue? What else should we put? Madsen.
In a synagogue, you need a roof.
You need a roof. You do need a roof. Because as we have all learned recently, it could snow. It could rain. It could rain and snow, sometimes on the same day. So you need a roof. What else? What else do we need? Jacqueline. We need Hebrew. We need to be reminded that Hebrew is the language of our people. Do we have Hebrew in this room?
Yeah.
Where?
Right there.
Oh. Do you want to hear something? That Hebrew, and I promise I didn't set it up this way. I mean, I did a little. It comes from this week's Torah portion. Because that Hebrew up there, it says, V'asuli mikdash v'shochanti b'tocham. It's a line from this week's Torah portion, and it means, and you shall make for me a sanctuary, so that I may dwell among you. Can you believe it? So, Hebrew. It's true. Yeah, it's true. So, what else should we put in a synagogue? What else would you put in a synagogue, Rose? Community. People. That is a great answer. Without people, a synagogue is a building. It's walls. Even if you have special pictures and special books, a synagogue without people is not really a synagogue, right? It's an artifact. You're right. Community. And community is about more than people. Community is about how we treat each other and how we depend on each other and how we help each other. You guys are beyond smart. What else would we put in our new synagogue? Jewish symbols, maybe like a Star of David. Maybe like a Torah. Yeah, to remember where we come from, to remember what we believe in. Maybe one or two more. Jacqueline. Jewish flags. Do we have any of those here? We have an Israeli flag. It's over there. And the United States flag is over there. So those are two flags that are important to us. Israeli flag, designed to look like a tallis, blue and white, right? To remind us that two stripes, God is up above us, but our life exists down here. We have to help people down here, two stripes. What else? There's hands all over the place. Sari. Seats. That's good. Yeah, that's good. I like that, because otherwise, where could we sit? Yeah. Dylan, help us. Music. Yes. Music, right? Music elevates our worship. It lifts our spirits. It brings us some warmth. It brings us comfort, right? That's a good answer from the lead of Little Shop of Horrors premiering at Lenape in just a few weeks. Okay, one or two more, Madsen.
We need electricity.
We do need electricity. That's true, because it would be... We would have problems. We would have problems. And even with electricity, we still have problems, but we would just have fewer problems. Okay. You guys, now you have a lot of ideas, so I can't stop while hands are up. Yes? We need candles, because we light candles to start our holidays. Is that true? That is true. We would need candles. What else do we need? We need doors. That's a really good answer, actually, because the doors, because you might have thought that it could be like an open air, like a big tent. But I think you need the doors to know that you're entering a special place, that you're leaving the outside world out there. When you enter the doors here, maybe you do this too, it's like you're entering really a different place. It's not your house, it's not Wegmans, it's not Target, it's not your school. This is a different place, and you feel different when you come here, right? The doors help us to remember that we're leaving the outside world and we're coming into a place that means a lot to us. Brenna.
Choir.
We need a choir. Of course we need a choir. Okay, Jacqueline. We need a rabbi. Yeah, well, you need someone who's gonna help. You need a lot of helpers, actually, not just a rabbi. You need teachers, and you need volunteers, and you need people who are gonna help, right? And the rabbi is just one of those people, but that's a good answer. We need a song leader. Shayna, you'll do that. So as you can see, we now are starting to realize why there's so much detail in the portion, because it's hard to build a synagogue. A lot goes into it, and we need to take care of it. We need to remember it's a special place, a place we love and cherish, and a place that we need. I think maybe more than ever, we need a place like this to come and feel safe, and to feel accepted, and to remember that we are sacred and we are loved just who we are. So that's what our synagogue does, and that's what the portion was trying to create. So that's Tiruma. Do you want to hear another joke? Or?
Yeah.
It's in the same genre. I have to remember it. I kept on wondering why I was only getting sick during the week. And then I thought, well, maybe it's because I have a weekend immunity. I should have left that one at home. Okay, we are going to conclude our service. We're going to honor our birthdays and anniversaries for the month of February and the month of March. No, February and January. That's how we do it. February and January. If February is your month, if January was your month for a birthday, for an anniversary, for a simcha, you can rise where you are, and we're going to offer you a special blessing at this time, February and January. February and January. God of days and years, author of life, our times are in your hand. We thank you for the gift of life and for all that enriches our lives. May we have the joy of coming together for many, many more years, united by mutual reverence and love. Then indeed will our lives be filled with an abundance of blessing. The words of the Shehechianu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who has given us life, sustained us, and helped us to reach this special moment in time. And together we can all say, Amen. Join in Aleinu, page 586. Please rise.
Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto God, who spread out the heavens and established the earth, and whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. Adonai is our God, there is none else. V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim Lifnei melech malkei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu ki Adonai echad u'shemo
We may be seated. As our service draws to a close, we do think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Zichronam livracha, may their memory always be for a blessing. We recall now those taken from our congregational community in most recent days, including Stephen Mark Fireman, brother of Lillian Crowley, Mason Williams, dear friend of Dana Major, Jack Engel, husband of Florence Engel, Joseph Corley, brother of Michelle Cardonic, Stan Lynn, father of Stacy Solzberg, grandfather of Samuel Seidman, and Claire Scheinman, sister of Goldie Schultz. As well, we recall at this time those whose yahrzeit we mark this Shabbat: Adele Bate, Max Eisner, Ann B. Herman, Francis Latovsky, Sam Mittman, Alan Nemeth, Bernice Patrovich, Simon Perelstein, Barry Pernatin, Florence Price, David C. Rudolph, Jackie Joe Rudolph, Doreen Ruggiero, Irvin Spiegel. I would ask to rise at this time those with us on this night in the midst of observing Shiva, the first 7-day period of mourning, followed by those with us on this night in the midst of observing Shloshim, the first 30-day period of mourning, followed by those with us who are within the first year of mourning the loss of a loved one, followed by those who tonight are observing the yahrzeit of a loved one, and lastly, if there is someone for whom you say Kaddish, a name that hasn't been shared with us, please feel free to share that name now as my glance meets your own.
Harry Simon.
Ruthie Shapiro.
I would like to also add the name tonight of Daniel Pearl, who died 20 years ago today. For all those for whom we say Kaddish and those for whom there is no one to say Kaddish, we rise tonight and we join together on page 598 in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad divrach v'rutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei t'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kari v'imru, Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam olnei almaya, Yiparak v'yishabach v'yipar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitatar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei v'kudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'yalma v'imru, Yehei shloma rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Oseh shalom b'mumav, v'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Together we say, Amen. You may be seated. It's my pleasure to welcome forward Diane Singer, our temple president, to share tonight's announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. So I don't think I'm going to tell a joke because I can't get them much weaker than what we heard today. I'm sorry. Okay, anyway, thank you Rabbi David, Cantor Sandy, Herb, the youth choir, for leading tonight's Red Shabbat. Special thank you, youth choir. What a wonderful welcome you gave me when I entered the sanctuary tonight. I really appreciate it. Also, thank you to Jessica and Jordan for lighting the candles and the Kiddush. I was out in the lobby greeting, so I kind of missed it, but that's what I heard. But thank you. And thank you to Hope and Joe for setting up Oneg tonight. And I'm going to backtrack because they also set it up for the Tu B'Shvat Oneg, but I didn't know that. So thank you for that too. Special thank you to Karen for greeting tonight and providing heart health information for our congregants. And a special thank you to all of you for joining us this evening and wearing red. Join us tomorrow morning at 8:45 for Torah Talk and Bagels. We will be in person, and it will be followed by our Simply Shabbat service at 10 a.m. Just a friendly reminder, effective today, ADIT has implemented its proof of vaccination policy. To streamline this process, we are asking congregants to submit their status online through ShulCloud or contact Heidi in the front office. We're also asking congregants to RSVP for Shabbat services tonight, and I have to thank all of you because you did RSVP and you did submit your status and you made our life as greeters a lot easier, so thank you. Please check the happenings. There's a link for an online security training Tuesday, February 15th from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Moving forward, we hope to offer more of those workshops. And there are 2 wonderful books to read this month, 94 Maidens by Rhonda Fink Whitman and The Woman with the Blue Star by Pam Janoff. We are offering 2 virtual book reviews this month. I'll get to the dates later. And the authors will be joining us. So start reading, because the next one I think is in 2 weeks. Okay, tonight's Goneg will be in the lobby. Hopefully you can stay for a few minutes to schmooze and catch up. Tonight's thought for Shabbat in honor of heart health is like money. We never have a true idea of its value until we lose it. Wishing you good health and happiness always. Shabbat Shalom.
We invite you to join us in a closing song of Adon Olam, which you can find on page 625. Please join us.
Adon Olam, Asher Malah, B'Terem Kol, Yitzir Nifa, Li'et Nasa, V'Hesed Kol, Azar Melech Shemolika, Adon Olam. Adon Olam, Asher Malah, B'Terem Kol, Yitzir Nifa, Li'et Nasa, V'Hesed Kol, Azar Melech Shemolika, Adon Olam.
We can join in the Motzi before making our way together to our Oneg. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'te'am. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay.
Good job, guys.
Okay, maybe over there.
Great job.
What do you say to the rabbi?